Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm going to keep this intro short because we have a lot to cover. Me and Lonnie went on vacation for 9 days down to North Carolina and back. And in the process, we also did our first camping trips, which was a totally new experience. Neither of us have been like truly camping before. What I do want to get out real quick is that if you want to stay tuned after the video, I'm going to go over kind of like what has happened in a few months. Spoiler alert, I am currently 5 months pregnant with our first child. After the video, I'll kind of go over what the plan is, some things that are going to be changing. But if you're ready for a fine, wonderful adventure and a lot of places, I mean a lot of places, here we go. Welcome to the first edition of the Wilsons Go Camping. There's Lonnie. He made that. I took care of the inside. Then there's these two over here. Just hang around in the dirt. So this is us at the New River Gorge National Park. That is the New Gorge River. I believe that's what it's called. And then we just finished our tent. There's a bug. Get away, bug. So we have both our sleeping bags over here. I got my pajamas and the little cubbies up there. Our light. And then we have General's pack, our backpacks, some other stuff that we brought in. And then under this is dinner. And then the boys haven't eaten their breakfast, so hopefully they'll eat when we come back. But now we are going to hit the trails. They're right, babe. That's right. Okay. See you shortly. Endless Wall Trail is a 2.3 mile point-to-point heavily trafficked 288 elevation gain easy trail. So being that this is the very first trail that we started our 9-day hiking spree on, of course, we walked in about 300 feet when I tripped over a stick and fell straight into some mud. Probably one of the safest falls I could have asked for, but you know. So New River Gorge National Park became a national park in December of 2020. It is the newest of the national parks. However, in 1978, New River became a national river and is considered one of the oldest rivers in our continent. The rapids range from levels 1 to 3 in the upper river to 3 to 5 in the lower gorge, making it ideal for pretty much any water sport. Diamond Point Lookout is about halfway through the trail. You can see New River so clearly and beautiful rock formations from the ridge. There are railroad tracks along the river that were established in 1872. From Diamond Point in the Endless Wall Trail, you are able to see the ruins of the early mining town Kmore. There is a Kmore Miners Trail which will take you down to the Kmore mine, however it is rated as hard, and although it's only 1.6 miles, it has an 870 elevation stair climb out and back, which is why it is considered so hard. So please start using a Stairmaster before you start trying to go down that trail. Unfortunately, after Diamond Point, this is where we ended up turning around and going back, so we only made it about halfway through the entire trail. Canyon Rim Overlook Boardwalk is a 0.6 mile trail which was mostly just stairs. When it was built in 1974, it was the longest steel arch bridge in the world and held the title until 2003. On October 3rd since 1980, Bridge Day, one of the longest festivities in West Virginia, is held. This is the only day you are legally able to walk on the bridge. Douglas Falls Trails via Big Ivy Road is 5.2 miles, 1,300 elevation gain, out and back moderate trail. We ended up parking really super close to the falls and only had to go about half mile in to get to the waterfall and then walking back out. Pisgah National Forest in North Carolina was established in 1916 under the Weeks Act in 1911 and contains over 500,000 acres of land. The Weeks Act of 1911 is what created national forests in the eastern U.S. Pisgah is named after Mount Pisgah, located on the Blue Ridge Parkway. Laurel River Trail is a 7-mile, 767 elevation gain out and back, heavily trafficked trail. We went about 1.5 miles, 2 miles before turning around and heading back. This trail was kind of strange because the first mile is private property, and then you also pass a rental home along the trail and river. So we found this abandoned road after leaving the Pisgah National Forest and seeing the Douglas Falls. I find it so amazing to see what happens when people aren't around to maintain structures in nature. A while back I read this book, The World Without Us by Alan Wiseman, and it talks about if humans would disappear right now, what would happen. And this is a perfect example of what he had described in the book. I totally recommend it just because it was a totally interesting read from start to finish. The entire time we were in here, it felt like we were on the set of The Walking Dead. Martins Creek Falls is a 2-mile, heavily trafficked, moderate, 364 elevation gain out and back trail. There is very limited parking here. 8 cars is hard to fit. Luckily for us, we met a woman living in the residential street leading up to the falls who let us park on her property. The walk to the falls was easy. Getting down to the falls was the hardest part, but totally worth it. The Cherokee National Forest is located on the eastern border of Tennessee, and it is the only national forest in Tennessee. It is over 650,000 acres. The forest is named after the Cherokee Indians who inhabited the area before they were forced to evacuate in 1838. This forest was also created as a result of the Weeks Act of 1911, although it was not established until 1920. Alright guys, excuse me if I'm pronouncing this wrong, I'm horrible with pronunciations. This is the Nolichucky Ridge Cliff via Appalachian Trail. It is 1.6 miles, 524 elevation gain, out and back, moderately trafficked, moderate trail. The views here were stunning. The walk up to the top actually wasn't that bad because you use switchbacks the entire time up there. So there is the sign for the Appalachian Trail, but what you want to do is walk down over here where this 25-mile-an-hour sign is, and there's another entrance that goes straight starting at the switchbacks. The one over there is just all kinds of gnarly, and we walked through it, and it was dumb of us to do considering our car was right here, but we didn't notice it until we were already up. So as you can see, we're parked right there. I believe Crabtree Falls, the trailhead it's right there. And then you come down here to this lovely babbling brook over here. And then this opens up to our campsite. So this was already set here for us. We just put up the tent. Lonnie is foraging for firewood. And I just got the inside of the tent set up. Crabtree Falls Trail is a 2.8 mile, 1,000 elevation gain out and back moderate trail. It was walking distance from our campsite, which had us start at the top of the trail. In order to get to this area, know that you need a 4x4 vehicle. There were several points driving up to our campsite where we realized that if we had brought Lonnie's sedan, we would not have made it. Also, if you have pets, be mindful of standing puddles. We actually saw worms in some of the puddles when we were walking by. There were many signs posted along the trail not to veer off the path. Over 30 people have died veering off and slipping and falling on the slick rocks. The George Washington and Jefferson National Forest in Virginia was originally two separate national forests that were combined in 1995. It is 1.8 million acres, reaching out from Virginia and into Kentucky as well. So we woke up and went on this trail, which is the Crabtree Meadows to Pinnacle Rocks trail. It is 3.3 miles, 492 elevation gain, out and back, moderately trafficked, easy trail. We only had time to go about a mile into the trail before having to head back to pick up our campsite and then move on to our next location. The trailhead was super hard to find, even with a GPS map. We entered behind another campsite. Bring bug spray. We also think this is where we picked up some ticks. We decided to take a hike during the rain. We're happy, but not that happy. Blackwater Falls is a 0.4 mile, easy, heavily trafficked, 131 elevation gain out and back trail. The falls are amber colored due to the tannic acid of fallen hemlock and red spruce needles. In the 1930s, the West Virginia's Power and Transmission Company donated the 446 acres to the state park system. Now that's a waterfall. This is how we look. Just made it, 1 mile. It was worth it. See, did I not tell you that we were going to go through a lot of places today? That was a lot, and it was all super fun. Oh, I forgot to mention also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel and you're digging what's going on, make sure you press that subscribe button so that you get notified to all my future videos, and it helps me out too. So it's kind of a win-win for both of us. So if you haven't done that, here's the time to take it now. I'll wait. Okay, so now here's the curveball. That is probably the last major vacation that me and Lonnie are going to be taking until after the baby arrives. Unfortunately, that was a lot for me, and my doctor had told me only to keep slowing down as time progresses. I'm hoping to go on more smaller adventures. As you kind of saw in the video, I didn't quite make it all the way through some trails already to begin with, so it's just going to become less, and there's nothing really I can do about that. So I'm going to still try and post what I can and do what I can, but because of this, I think I'm going to have to switch it up on you guys. So the first thing I was thinking about doing is starting a mom blog. Some other possibilities is that you're just going to get more vlogs of home life. So leave a comment below if you guys dig this idea, if this is something you want to see in the future. So if you like this video, hit that like button. Like I said, if you haven't subscribed and you didn't take that moment to subscribe, please do so now, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks. Bye.